If you didn't know how old you was, how old would you be? About it. Everybody, I'm Tommy. This is Almost Zen. And that was a quote from the baseball player Satchel Paige. Now, he was an old baseball player back in the 50s or somewhat. And he played till he was like in his 50s, like absurd, 58 or something crazy like that. I'm not exaggerating. And after a game, one of the reporters asked, "Why are you still playing? You could be playing with your grandkids and relaxing and, whatever he said to him." And that's what he said. If you didn't know how old you was, how old would you be? I feel 28. And it got me thinking how we use age and time to really stress us out over aging. We use the number of age. Like, we know exactly the life expectancy. It's tied to calendars, to our own usage of birthday numbers, yearly. So say, like, people say, "Oh, I'm the big 3-0, the big 4-0, the big 5-0, or time's slipping away. I got to really make the most of my life. This is so stressful. I've wasted my life. I'm closer to the end than the beginning." All those things. But if it wasn't for those numbers, life expectancy 78, January 13th is my birthday, I'm 1 year older, on and on and on, we'd be less stressful about it. I'm going to use an analogy for Apple phones and Android phones. Now, on Apple phones, they have something called the battery health, where you can go into the settings and it'll tell you the health of the battery relative to when it was new. And they tell you when it hits 70 something percent, it's time to move on from the phone. Even though if you didn't know about that number, you'd just be using the phone till you felt it wasn't capable of working anymore. You wouldn't use some arbitrary number somewhere in the settings. Now, Android phones, which, if I'm not mistaken, all of them, the ones I've owned, the Motorola, Samsung, Google Pixel, they don't have that. So if you go to eBay to buy a phone, and it's an iPhone, a lot of times you'll see them put the battery health in the description, battery health even in the title, or people will ask questions about it. I've done it. Because I'm like, oh, I got to get one in the 90s. Because that number's telling you it's closer to the end. Android, nothing like that written there. They'll just say, "Oh, battery works good. Battery's working good." The other one, it's like an alert and an alarm. This battery's going. They'll even tell you in the settings, "Please service your battery." Now, yeah, Apple's probably saying that so you'll replace the battery quicker or get another phone. Because without that number on Android, there's no stress and anxiety about that when you have the phone. You're not thinking, "Oh God, my battery health is low. I got to get rid of this." I've seen it on Reddit. Yeah, I go to Reddit. What am I doing on Reddit? I don't know what I'm doing on Reddit. It's a cesspool. But in Reddit, people be like, "Guys, it's saying it's 79. What do I do? My battery health is 79. What do I do?" Generally, there's a problem right there that people are asking people what to do. But there it is. Android, you don't worry about it. You let the phone just live. You decide to move on from the phone when you feel it's not working that great anymore. You're not bound by that number that's really just BS. It's an arbitrary number. Like look, I use an Apple 12 mini. I don't like it. I like the Androids that I've had them, but this one's small. The mini, I could just carry it with me, make a video, whatever it is. It's just the simplest thing, but I don't really even like it. I feel like the next time I'm gonna have to find like a newer, smaller phone, because I just don't like it. But that's besides the point. But I have looked at the thing. Oh, it's 78. I decide to look, and they're telling me you got to get rid of this battery soon, or I mean, you got to fix this soon. And I'm thinking, if I didn't see that number, how bad would the phone be? It's still working fine. Now, people say they tweak stuff in there to make it run slower, so you'll replace it when it hits a certain thing. I think there was a class action lawsuit about that, where they couldn't do that anymore, like start to like make it run slower. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But all that got me thinking, what if we didn't have any of that stuff? This thing like sideways? I don't even care. Whatever, dude. Like, what if we had lived life? Sorry about this, guys. What if we lived life like an Android phone? And I should be setting this up first, right? What if we lived life like an Android phone and we didn't know how old we were or how close the end was? Like, think about this. If we never knew what the life expectancy was, because we didn't have calendars and age and date birthdays to tell us what age we were, we wouldn't know when we were close to the end. We would live a lot less stressful. Yeah, people would die around you, but you wouldn't know if it's because they were close to the end of the normal life expectancy for a human. Like, look, animals have no friggin' idea about any of that stuff. They're so stress-free with that. Like that book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. Talking about animals, they don't care about the stuff we care about. But death, which is the number one thing that stresses people out, the idea of it is really tied to this construct of time, calendars, birthdays. If you didn't know how old you was, how old would you be? Satchel Paige. Well, you go by how you'd feel, and you're like, I feel good. So that's my age. I don't know. Like, if you could see people dying, you'd be like, well, they looked like they were aging. We wouldn't even say the word old. Would we even call them old? I don't even know. But some people look way younger than they do. Some people look way older than they do. So we wouldn't get stressed if we saw a pattern of people dying when they looked wrinkled, or because there'd be people that would pass on and they would look young, or they would really literally be like still kids. There would be this freedom, I think, in living untethered by the idea of how old you are. Oh my God, I'm 50. I'm closer to the grave than the cradle. That stuff just really adds a lot of anxiety to the whole idea of just living. I like the idea of just living how you feel. You don't know when you're close to the end. Like, anytime you hear a story of someone dying, they're like, how old was he? Oh, 56. Oh my God, so young. And now you're stressed out. What did he die of? You type it in. I hope it's not something that I could get. Oh, he smoked and it was lung cancer. All right, thank God. We start to get relieved. It's all tied to that, man. And I truly believe Android phones can teach us about aging and the fear of dying. Because imagine ignorance tied to living, like not knowing anything about when we're supposed to die or we should be dead by now. It truly frees you up. I mean, I'm going to be 79 next week. So, you know, it starts to creep in on me here and there, but I try not to let it. But damn, if the age and the birthdays and all that other stuff doesn't play a factor in it. Because I've thought about this long and hard. If, like, Satchel Paige is out there playing, man, and I probably got his age and the quote exactly wrong. The main part of the quote I got right. He was just a baseball player that played really long. I think Minnie Minoso played long too, but Satchel Paige was the one that played. Look them up. Why do I got to do the research? I mean, it's only my video, right? But as I try to find a little peace, just a small measure of peace, a small moment of Zen in each breath, I want to start living with that idea of, if you didn't know how old you was, how old would you be? Just think about the idea of you not knowing how old you were and how long we're supposed to live. Because all those dates, all those little numbers, they're the things that stress us out. It's always time. God, it's getting like 5 o'clock. Oh my God, what time is it? 5 o'clock, time to eat. We don't even, that's another thing. We don't listen to our bodies with food. We're like, well, it's time to eat. We don't go, I'm hungry. Well, some people do, but most people are like, they eat on those times. Is it time to eat yet? Well, what do you think? It was your body telling you, let's get more in tune with our natural rhythms. People way back, there was no clocks, no birthdays. These people didn't live tethered by the idea of their impending death tied to a calendar. That's some stress world right there, man. That's stress world. I don't want to live in that world. Now I have to live in this modern society where those things are important in some way only because they've attached us to it. We can't live without that in society. Someone's going to say, come there at 3. What are you going to do? Be there at 3. What are you going to do? I'm not looking at the clock. They're not going to get me. You sit there staring at the sun like some kind of mutant trying to figure it out. And while your clock's in your hand, just look. There's the time. But that's another way to keep us all in line and in fear and under the thumb of government, society. Because society doesn't like people living outside the grip of their control. They don't like it. Hey, what's this person thinking for themselves? They're not scared. So they're going to sit and buy, and listen. Let's keep our eye on that dude. Anyway, guys, I probably have more to say on this, but do you really want to look at me? I got to start figuring out a better way to do this. Who wants to look at me half the freaking time? Maybe I'll start doing the walking video. Maybe I'll mix it up, just walking videos with some scenery while I talk. I also like that because then I don't have to keep talking nonstop. I could just let the moments breathe. I can't do that now because if I sat here after the thought and was like, for like 30 seconds, people are like, what is going on here? Does this guy prepare his videos? No, I don't, by the way. Anyway, if you didn't know how old you was, how would you be? In summation, Android phones, they live outside of that. Oh, also on my phones or the Switch I had or anything, I don't put the number of the battery percentage as it. I'm talking about the actual battery usage, the daily usage, not the health of the battery. But that number, it's like, oh, my battery's dying, I got to charge it. I don't even put that on. I just have the little meter. I don't want to see the number. I don't want to tie to these numbers, dude. Well, Tommy, how old are you? I told you, I'm 79. I'm 79. Women don't even like being asked a birthday. Why? Why do you think? Anyway, guys, I got to stop babbling. There it is. Let that sink in today. Meditate on that if you can. And slow down, people. Slow down. We're making life faster. We're making it shorter with these constructs, these societal things that we can break free from. We have the power. Anyway, I'm Tommy. This is Almost Zen. I'm in love with you guys. Beautiful people. Damn, you're beautiful.